Flood, droughts, warm temperatures. These are some of the impacts of climate change on the environment, and some investors around the world are putting in money in such a way as to combat these challenges. According to S&P Global Ratings Agency, green bonds globally increased by 10% year-on-year in 2023. This shows there's a global market for green bond. And that is why the Nigerian Minister of Environment wants to tap in, as he announces a 60 billion naira bond issuance in September.
We're hoping that we'll do it by September latest, by September, based on the kind of support we have got. There's a lot of support around it, and we hope that what we are going to do will be more than $250 million, far above what we did earlier on.
But what really is green bond? Here is the CEO of Nigerian Stock Exchange Group explaining.
Green bonds, think of them as loans, such that those loans being given by the lender to the borrower are specifically for projects that help improve the environment. They're for projects that are done in ways that are sustainable. So that word green is around that sort of nature. So a green bond essentially is, a way to help the government, help corporates, help people raise capital through the capital market, such that that capital is used then for projects that have a sustainability lens and focus around them. On one hand, you want to do things that are sustainable. You want to preserve the environment. You want to preserve, all of the climate, as it were. And ultimately, you also want to make money. You're not a charity, as it were, as an investor. And indeed, those are the sorts of returns that you would find on green bonds. They tend to be more market-friendly rates. Of course, sometimes there's a bit of a balance that needs to happen between the commercial-like returns and the initiatives, which is why usually what you will then do is to have things like DFIs, development financial institutions, who can also de-risk those projects, who can add some capital and make the commercial returns versus the sustainability part of the bonds to come together and align.
Private investors at this forum said identifying green bankable projects and forex fluctuations could be a challenge, but a representative of a World Bank-assisted agency aimed at addressing the challenges of climate thinks otherwise.
From the design of the green projects that you heard in the series of sessions we had today, these are largely projects identified from the national budget. And the national budget is anchored on the local currency. So issues surrounding forex have no direct relevance with subscription because essentially the focus is local. We're looking at local players from the private and indeed government, which is public. So for us at the Federal Ministry of Environment, we do not envisage the current fluctuations and the Makosa dance of forex to essentially affect the subscription, in our opinion.
The Nigerian capital market and its regulators said they will continue to encourage more environmentally friendly investments in Nigeria.
We have a subsidiary, which is the Nigerian Exchange Limited. I know that they're doing quite a lot of work in, one, driving more green bonds. Number two, also getting, as you've said, companies that are green in nature to list. And very soon, from what I understand, they'll be making some announcements around some impact types of initiatives, which is to say, even if you don't have companies that are all out for green type of investments, how about those traditional companies that spend a lot of their money, their capital, of their time, of their corporate ethos around sustainability? How do we start to showcase those sorts of companies and essentially start this conversation? So I think we're doing quite a bit of that around that part of our business. But across as a group, one of the things that we're also very keen around is just strong strategic partnerships. Partnerships with the right organizations that can help us across our entire ecosystem of companies to drive this agenda.
The SEC is a strong supporter of the green bond issuance processes. And so, as a demonstration of that fact, on October 12th, 2018, the first rules on green bonds were issued by the SEC. That is to demonstrate our commitment to the issuance of green bond and to provide a benchmark in terms of regulation that meets international best standards. Because what is important is for investors to have confidence in the securities that are being issued in order for them to know and understand that the SEC has taken time out to actually review the rules in order to give the requisite disclosures that are necessary for any investor to partake in green bond issuance. And like you understand, Nigeria is, virtually green. So the issuance of green bonds and green securities, permeates into the very fabric of our society because it allows everybody to contribute in the development of a green society that we all, crave for.
The capital markets and other private sector players in Nigeria are expected to play a critical role in raising long-term finance requirements to support climate resilient investment and other social development financing, as the public sector alone cannot tackle the effects of climate change. Lillian Jijingi-Agudah, Arise News.